We have a ton of options in just about every aspect of our lives. Walk down the grocery aisle, you got about 100 different brands of cereal. You can buy a car just about any shape, size, or color. You go to a diner, you can get anything from pancakes to rigatoni, except politics. And once you hit the general, you're left with two candidates, a Democrat and a Republican. And if you don't like either, you're out of luck. What about a third-party candidate?
And that progressive activist Cornel West jumping into this race.
Cornel West, the progressive scholar, today said he's going to mount a third-party run for president.
Field is growing in the 2024 presidential race. Two Democrats are challenging President Biden for the White House in the Democratic primary. And just this week, a third-party candidate jumped into the race, Dr. Cornel West, who launched his bid as a member of the People's Party.
Political analyst Amy Walter kind of posed an interesting question about his candidacy. Is his candidacy more threatening to Biden in general election, especially with young and voters of color, than RFK Jr. in the primary?
Yes, it's very likely. Amy Walter's onto something. You as a third-party candidate spoiler can decide who is the president.
A third-party candidate can be deadly in the general. Right now, half of Americans say they'd consider voting for a third-party candidate, so there's an open lane, and someone's sliding in. His name's Cornel West.
How big of a worry is this for Biden? Right now, they're monitoring it. Cornel West did that in the general election. He could siphon off Democratic votes from President Biden. And if you see the last two elections, 1,000 votes here, 1,000 votes there, that is determinative of who's in the White House.
Super smart guy. He's very committed to the principles and policies that he thinks more Americans want to hear.
These bleak times, I have decided to run for truth and justice, which takes the form of running for president of the United States as a candidate for the People's Party.
These elections often do come down to a binary choice between the Democrat and the Republican. Dr. Lawrence Tribe, a Harvard University professor, tweeted, "WTF, please stop this foolishness before you really hurt the things you care to help," unquote. His fear, obviously, that you would sap away enough votes of progressives who otherwise would vote for Joe Biden and thus deliver the White House to the Republican.
You got either this or that, Tweedledee, Tweedledum, frick or frack. Neo-fascist catastrophe, neoliberal disaster, or disaster better catastrophe? Absolutely, but both parties stand in the way of the empowerment of poor and working people. What about the 60% of precious Americans of all colors?
There's an appetite on the left for a guy who's anti-war, anti-Wall Street, anti-big tech. Cornel doesn't trust the Democratic Party. He remembers how they kneecapped Bernie in 2016 and in 2020. Cornel is running with the People's Party.
He's going to make a play for people who feel forgotten, who feel abandoned by this Democratic Party, who feel like nobody's listening to them.
Where will you be on the ballot? Will you be on the ballot in Michigan? Will you be on the ballot in Wisconsin?
We're trying to get on the ballot in every state, but most importantly, we just want to make sure that our fellow citizens get a chance to see what the best of America is about. The best of America and the best of any nation is about fighting for poor and working people, no matter what color, gender, sexual orientation.
Get on the ballot, Cornel needs to get thousands of signatures across all 50 states. Unlike Ross Perot, Cornel's not a billionaire who can become a household name by buying up airtime. That means he needs to put together an organized team with a strong ground game. Can the People's Party pull that off? We'll see.
We need something better. Where's the best of the country?
Yeah.
Not just working people here, but around the world. Because this is an international project, my brother. This is a moral and a spiritual issue. It's not simply narrow strategic thinking of neoliberals who view the world in terms of either Republicans or Democrats. Let us embrace one another by accenting our best. That includes acknowledging those who right now are on the other side. We want realignment. We want what my dear brother Clifton West calls a paradigm shift in American politics. That's what this campaign is all about.